Hi guys, I'm Danielle and welcome to or back to my channel, DNJ Reads. So today I'm going to be doing the beginning of the year book tag. I'm really excited about this. I know it's February, but I did film this in January. The beginning of the year has been a little bit crazy for me, but I'm trying to get back into my filming routine and my editing. So I just want to get this out before we get any further into the year than we already are. So I'm just going to get started. And the first question is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? And for me, I normally read around 250-ish books. Some years I've done more, some years I've done less, but this year I actually set my goal at 150. I know I'm probably gonna blow right through that, but I really want this year to be about, for me, is not reading as many novellas and short books, but really kind of digging into those longer ones that I've been putting off because I've been trying to get my number count up there again. So this year, realistically, I'll probably read around like 200 to 225. But again, I don't want to be even hitting that like high 200 number. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's January and I've already read 25 books. Many of them were novellas though. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that in like the summer, I'll have other things to do. Right now, it's snowy. I can't go outside. So, of course, I'm home reading, but whatever. So, we'll see what happens in the summer. Next up is a book you're likely to reread this year. And for this, I'm very likely going to reread the whole Throne of Glass series. But last year I reread A Court of Thorns and Roses and I tabbed, annotated, highlighted, did all of the stuff in my books. So now I really want to go back through Throne of Glass, do that with these books, and then go back and reread the Crescent City books to see how much I missed because it's been so many years since I've read this. And Crescent City is like my favorite series ever. So I'm going to go back, read that, see what I missed, and that is going to take up a lot of my year. Maybe like one a month I'll try. I'm not trying to get this started anytime soon though, so this will probably be like summer and end of the year kind of thing for me. Next question is, what is a priority read on your 2025 TBR? And for me, that is going to be Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I have this one and Reckless. I don't have the little novella that's in between those, but I am really excited about this. I've heard such good things. I know that this is a book that centers around like trials and magic and not having magic, and trials are a big buzzword for me. So that is why I picked this up to begin with. I saw Jess from Peace Love Books like raving about this book, and I have a feeling I'm actually gonna love this series. So I really want to pick this one up before the next one comes out because I'm not going to keep buying them if I don't like them. So I need to read this first to decide if I'm going to keep going on with this series. Then next up is an author that I won't be reading any more books from this year. And I think that author is going to be, unfortunately, Olivia Dade. And this book I absolutely love from her. 5 stars. I will tell everybody to read this book. I really love the representation in it. There's just so many good things in this book. So I thought I was going to love her. This was the first book that I read from her, but every single other book that I've picked up since then just has like not hit for me. I think I gave one 2 stars. I gave one 3 stars. And in like my head, that's not really that great. So I'm just kind of not going to be picking anything else from her up this year. Maybe next year, but I'm just gonna kind of leave it alone for now. Then the next question is about something new I want to read this year, be it genres or tropes or just books in general. And I think this year, which I say every year, is going to be the year that I read more horror. I've really been enjoying the books that I am picking up, so I'm hoping that I can find a couple more that I can put on my TBR and really enjoy this year. So if you have any horror books that you really love, definitely let me know down in the comments. I'll look into them, see if it's something I think I'll like. Maybe I'll pick them up and I'll let you know how I feel about them. But another thing that I do want to read this year is more self-help books. I've kind of been on a journey last year in getting my mental health under control, figuring out that I had ADHD, which did not know at all. So that was something new to me. I guess it presents very differently in girls. My brothers had it growing up and didn't think anything of it, but apparently I have it too. So now that I'm taking care of myself, I'd really like to read more about that and do some research on my own to figure out ways that I can better help myself. So that is one of my goals for this year. Next question is, what is a popular book that I really want to read? And I know right now a lot of Kindle Unlimited, like romance, fantasy romance authors are getting picked up and coming out traditionally published. So one of those authors that I've heard really, really good things about that I do want to pick up is Penn Cole, and she has the Spark of the Everflame series, and I really, really think I'm going to like it. So I do hope that I can pick that up later this year. I don't know too much about it, but I keep hearing people say such good things, and I'm really gonna try and pick that one up. We are moving right along here. So question 7 is, what is one of my most anticipated 2025 book releases? And I couldn't just pick one, so I picked quite a few for this one. But one of them, which I am currently still in the middle of reading, is Onyx Storm. I think this book is beautiful. Look at those edges, those dragons. I am loving this. Don't really want to say anything more just in case there's spoilers, so not going to talk about it. But this was definitely like my top tier book that I was excited for this year. Some of the other ones that I'm excited for, though, are Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. That is the second book in the Heartless Hunter series, and I think it's the finale, so I'm very excited for that one. I also have The Robin on the Oak Throne by K.A. Lindy. I'm really, really excited for that. The Holly Library one, it's The Wren in the Holly Library. I absolutely loved that book last year, and I cannot wait for the next one to come out. And then another one that I'm super excited for is the last book in Jay Kristoff's Empire of the Vampire series. He has said that it's coming out in like November of 2025, but he still has not given us a title or a cover or anything like that. So I'm just super excited for that one. I absolutely love that series. So those are just a couple of the few that I'm very, very excited for. So then the next question I have is, what is a bookish goal of yours for 2025? So I have a couple of these. Like I said, I want to read less books. I want to read less novellas and more substantial books. I do want to finish more series, which has been going okay for me so far. I've finished like 2 series already this year, so I'm pretty proud about that. And then I do also want to read at least, I'd say like 2 to 3 nonfiction books, which is not normally my thing. But if I'm going for those like self-help books, any like medical books like that, I'm hoping that those I can get through and add those to that part of my list. And then obviously I do want to read diversely, which I really try to do that in my normal reading. So that's not much of a stretch goal for me or anything like that. I just want to keep it up and keep it going. The next question is, what is a book that has been on your TBR that you probably won't pick up? And for me, I know this is going to be bad because I keep putting this on like every single TBR and I've had it for so long, but I don't think I'm ever going to get to An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. I feel like I missed the time where this was super, super popular and when I should have read it. I know it is YA, and I know she just came out with Air, which is an adult book, I want to say, but I don't think I can pick that one up because that follows the events of this. And if I was to pick that one up and read it, then this one would be spoiled. I just don't know if I'm ever going to get around to this one. Hopefully one day I will, but knowing me, I probably won't, and it's going to sit on my shelves forever. Next up is a series I want to read this year. And like I said, I'm trying to read more like substantial novels. So this year, I really want to pick up The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I think I'm going to really like this. I do own the whole series. So this question was kind of like, I didn't want to take one from something that I've already started. I wanted to start fresh. And I've had this book for 3 or 4 years now and haven't started it. So I'm hoping that this will be the year that I am able to start and finish this series. I know it's won so many awards. It's won the Hugo Award. Some of the other books in this series have won other awards as well. And I just really want to add this to my read collection of books. Then next up is, who are your auto-buy authors going into 2025? And I want to say I've been a fan of Cassandra Clare for so many years now. She is definitely one of my auto-buy authors. Just this year already, I know I bought the second set of the Mortal Instruments series from Fairy Loot. That should be coming later this year. I am definitely going to try and get my hands on that Litjoy collection of the Clockwork Angel, Prince, and Princess, because that is my favorite series from her, and those books are absolutely gorgeous. And I also still have her Kickstarter books coming in, so Cassandra Clare is definitely an auto-buy author for me. She also has The Ragpicker King, which is the second book of her Swordcatcher series, so I'm definitely going to be picking that one up. I'm just so excited for this year and all of my Cassandra Clare books that are going to be coming in. And then another auto-buy author, I don't think she has anything coming out this year, but definitely Sarah J. Maas. She's one of my favorites. If she writes anything, I will definitely be picking that up. And then another one is Rebecca Yarros. I think I literally already have like 4 or 5 copies of Onyx Storm coming in. I don't know if you can see over here, but I have a whole little mini shelf for her, and I'm going to need to reorganize my shelves because all of the Onyx Storms that I've bought are not going to fit on there. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Another one of my auto-buy authors is Erin A. Craig. I've really loved all of her books so far. I do still have to read the last one that she came out with, The 13th Child, but I own it. It's on my shelves, ready to be read. And I know she's coming out with an adult book, I want to say, this year. So I'm really, really excited for that. I will definitely be picking that up later on in the year. So that is just a couple of the auto-buy authors that I have on my list, and can't wait to see what they come out with. This question was a bit harder for me, and that is, like, what is a book to show adaptation that you're excited about this year? I don't really watch a whole lot of TV at all, like be it movies or shows. I've obviously watched all the Bridgerton, but that's not normally my type of book that I would read. I'm not always into historical fictions. But Bridgerton was such like a big thing that obviously I read them all and I've enjoyed all of the shows so far, but I don't think that is coming out this year. I think we have to wait until next year for that one. But one of the ones that I am excited for is going to be Wicked Part 2. So I got this book when I was in high school, and I remember being obsessed with this. I was obsessed with the play. I loved all the music. This was one of my favorite books when I was younger. It's kind of discolored now since I've had it so long. I do love the floppy paperback though. And I must have forgotten that there's art in there because that's kind of cool. But I'm so excited for the next part of that movie to come out. So I will definitely be seeing that. I think it's coming out in November. But other than that, I really don't have any others that I'm super excited for or anything. And then next up is a sequel that I'm anticipating. I know when I talked about some of the anticipated book releases, I talked about The Robin on the Oak Throne. I talked about the J. Kristoff book. I also am really excited for The Ragpicker King by Cassandra Clare. And another one on that list is going to be Oathbound by Tracy Dion. I absolutely love that series, and I cannot wait for the next one to come out. I don't know if it's the finale at all, but I'm just really looking forward to that one. As soon as Owl Crate puts out their sale for that one, I am going to grab their special edition because I have the other 2 Owl Crate editions and I want this one to match. And then also I am excited about Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is the follow-up to Phantasma, and I was so obsessed with that book. I still am. So I'm super excited to see Enchantra and how her sister gets along. So next question is, what bookish things are you leaving in 2024? I kind of didn't really know how to take this question. So one of the things I said is I'm trying to leave behind my excessive book buying. Yes, I did just tell you that I bought 5 books of Onyx Storm, but I absolutely love that series. It's like an all-time favorite for me. I don't think anything's going to change about that. And with my all-time favorites, as you can see on my shelves, I tend to buy multiple copies of that one. So that one I was okay with doing. But some of the other ones, I sometimes pick up like the second book in a Fairy Loot that I haven't read yet, but I think I'm going to like. So I'm going to really try hard not to buy as many books this year. So far, I'm doing okay with that. I really don't have anything pre-ordered other than the couple of Fairy Loot things that just dropped, like Onyx Storm and the Mortal Instruments, like I was telling you. But other than that, not too many books pre-ordered, and I'm really, really going to try to only buy the ones that I know for sure I'm going to love. Kind of like why I wanted to read Powerless, so I don't have to buy that next book if I'm not going to like it. Another thing that I kind of want everybody to leave behind is judging others for how much they read. Last year I read 298 books. Yes, that is a lot. I read fast. I like to read a lot of novellas. Some people have way more than that. Some people have read 500 books in a year. Some people only read 50. Everybody goes at their own pace, and I don't think we should be judging others for how fast or slow that pace is. And another thing that I hope we all leave behind in 2024, I read a ton of romance books. And the kink shaming that comes along with reading romance books that are erotic in nature is crazy. Nobody should be shamed for what they like to read, what they like to do, anything like that. If you see something that you like, read that book. If you see something that you don't like, don't read that book. But don't tell other people that they're not right for wanting to read that book if that's something that they're enjoying. So I really hope that we can kind of all come together, especially with the political climate, and no kink shaming, no shaming of any kind really should be said around books. We're getting closer to the end, so we're almost done. But the next question is what to expect from this account in 2025. And I don't really have a whole lot of ideas right now. I know last year I was kind of on a regimented schedule. I don't really want to do that again this year, but I do just want to have fun with this account. I want to bring you book hauls. I want to talk about the books that I'm really excited for that are coming out soon. And I might do some tag videos. I'll definitely do some book haul videos. And it's just more about having fun and enjoying myself here and talking about the things that I want to talk about, showing more of my personality. And I'm really hoping that I can get that across this year and more of you can join me and have fun here as well. Also, I might try vlogging again. I am a pretty boring person. I have chronic pain, so there are some days where I just can't get up and out of the house. I would much rather stay home on the couch reading than going out and doing anything. So maybe the vlogs in the beginning will be a little bit boring, but hopefully once the summer comes and I can get outside again, then they should be a little bit more interesting, but we'll see as we go. Who knows? Next question is, how has your reading taste evolved from last year? And I would say, I don't know if it's evolved too much. I noticed that I like a lot more fantasy books that don't necessarily have romance in them. I've read a Brandon Sanderson, so I feel like I'm going to get into the more, what people say, like boyish fantasy. It doesn't have to be just for boys. Girls obviously read it too. But I feel like I'm kind of getting more into that type of fantasy, which is great for me. I'm still going to be reading my fantasy romance as well, but just more deeper political books. I've noticed I've really liked politics in books, not so much in real life. We don't like the Orange Man. We're not going to go there. But I really, really think every year is just going to be getting better and better about picking the books that I'm really going to like. I don't have too many duds, and when I do have a dud, it's not a book that I necessarily like went and bought for myself. It's one I found on Kindle Unlimited for free. So I kind of expect that from there. Hopefully this year I'll just be a little bit better at picking the ones I'm going to enjoy. Next up are, who are some booktube creators who inspire you? And I watch a lot of booktube. That is probably the reason that I don't watch too much like movies or TV shows or anything like that, because if I'm doing something, I'm going to have booktube on in the background, just listening to people talk, seeing how they do things, what books they're liking. This is how I get a ton of my recommendations. Some of the people that I watch, I don't even really read that genre. I love watching books and Lala, but I don't really read horror or speculative fiction or anything that she really likes. But the videos that she does, she still inspires me, and I don't have to read the same thing as you to be inspired by you. Another booktuber that I've really been loving lately is Shelby from A Little Literary Love. We read a ton of the same stuff, so it's great to go over to that channel, see what she's recommending, pick some of those books up, go talk to her about them. I've really been enjoying doing that. Another person I really like watching is Books with Samantha. Samantha is unapologetically herself in these videos, and I absolutely love that. She reads a ton of the same stuff that I do as well. And again, I get so many good recommendations from her. She is another one who really likes the Omegaverse, and definitely you should check her out if you haven't. And then another person is Christy from Christy Reads a Lot. This is actually where I got this video idea from. I saw that she had done it and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this too. There are tons of others that I watch too, but those are just a few of the ones that I have been really inspired by lately. And then last question is, what is something you want to say to anyone wanting to start a booktube channel? My suggestion is just going to be, just do it. Set up a phone, anything that you have. It doesn't have to be an amazing camera. I have my phone doing this right now. I had no idea how to edit or do any of those things before I started this. I watched a couple videos on YouTube and I learned. My editing's still not the best, but I'm learning as I go. Just do it, because that is the main thing that is probably stopping you from doing anything. You don't need to have a ton of books. You don't even have to have a book. I watch some booktubers that maybe buy 1 or 2 books a year and they read everything else on their Kindle. You don't have to have the most amazing setup to just get yourself out there and talk to people who have the same ideas and likes as you. So just do it. That's my suggestion. I don't know if I said this before, but this tag was made by Larry Reads. So I'm going to link them in the description below so that you can go over there and check out their video. In the description, I will also have all of the questions for this tag so that you can easily grab them if you want to make this video yourself. But that's it for today. If you liked this video, please give this a thumbs up and comment down below. It really helps. Subscribe if you're not already. And if you don't know what to say but still want to leave a comment, why don't you put a green heart in the comments for Wicked? And I will see you next time. Bye!